Full time from Villa Park this evening. Aston Villa take the win. Newcastle United lose yet again. I'm sat here, not surprised. I'm not shocked. The sad reality is, I was expecting us to lose this game tonight. It's a normality. I expect us to lose games every single week under this spineless manager in Steve Bruce. That's no win now in 10 games in all competitions. I just can't see us getting out of this trouble that we're in. We don't look like doing the basics in this league. You watch we play, we can't even string two passes together. And when we do have the ball, we can't keep it for more than 5 seconds without giving it away. And when we give the ball away, we're far too passive. And what I mean by that is teams can just pick what off and then they can outpass us because we don't have a clue what we're doing. The players right now look useless, hopeless, dejected, fed up, whatever word you want to use. They'd rather be anywhere else but be working under Steve Bruce. They'd probably rather be in the mansions and doing something different rather than be on that football field right now, because Steve Bruce is no motivation. He really isn't. I don't see what the board see in Steve Bruce to what we don't see as a fan base. 100% now the fan base are anti-Steve Bruce. They want Steve Bruce to go because Steve Bruce, right, is not a Premier League manager. He's not good enough to manage Newcastle United Football Club, let alone in the Premier League. With the investment that he's had, we should be kicking on. And if anything, we're worse. How can you bring in players like Wilson, Fraser, Lewis, yet we'll just look worse than the season before? Rafa's organisation's been well and truly tarnished, thrown away in the bin. And this is what happens, right, when you hire a manager like Steve Bruce, who, for me, is tactically inept. Listen, if there's any Aston Villa fans watching this right now, you deserved to win the game tonight. I've got no complaints about the result. You totally outpassed us. You outplayed us. We couldn't live with any of your players, especially Ollie Watkins. He could add 5 tonight. We were defensively all over the place. We got outran in midfield. If anything, we got outpassed all over the park. And we barely laid a glove on Martinez. I believe we've only had a shot on target all game. That just sums it up. In Villa, right, are the definition of what can happen if you get rid of Steve Bruce. Villa, right, since they got rid of Steve Bruce, they've kicked on with Dean Smith. As much as I don't... Well, I wouldn't say I don't like Villa fans. I've got nothing against Villa fans. I wasn't quite happy with what happened, when we got relegated in 2009. I guess it was just a bit of banter. But you can see how they're progressing. They went down with us in 2016 and they've come back into the Premier League and they just play tick-a-tack football. Beautiful football to watch. You can admire it. They're scoring goals and they look well organised. They've got a local manager who believes in the players that he's got. And yes, he's from the area of Villa in the Midlands, but he's not out there making excuses like Steve Bruce. Yes, okay, you could say he's had investment, but it's what you do with that investment. And he's getting the best out of the players he has at his disposal. Steve Bruce, he's got nothing. You know what I mean? It's just he fields out a side, and the players are not comfortable. The players don't even want to play for him. That's what it's come down to now. They don't even want to play for him. We just look really, really, really poor. Like we shouldn't be in this league. If you look at the stats, they're really, really bad. They are alarming. And the longer that the ball keeps Steve Bruce, listen, we're sleepwalking to that relegation zone and we won't get out of it. If we go down, we're not coming back up. It's as simple as that. We've only won 5 games from 19 played. I believe we've lost 10 now. And with Villa winning that game, we've even gone down a place without Burnley even doing anything. It's all down to goal difference. We've now gone into 16th place. There's no doubt we're not going to stay there. Fulham eventually will start picking up results. And that's what the board are hanging on to, that Fulham don't do anything. Fulham eventually will get results. Steve Bruce simply needs to go. He needs to resign from this football club tonight or tomorrow or Monday morning, whatever it may be. The board now can't afford to give him any more time. They really can't. And if there's any Villa fans watching this, it's not just down to the fact that we've lost tonight. If you look at the run of results, they're alarming. They scream out of desperation to the board that change needs to be made. I don't want to hear that, oh, we're going to bring in Graham Jones from Bournemouth. He's not the answer. There's another Championship manager who got sacked at Luton Town who will come into Newcastle. Fresh eyes. Fresh eyes. He's not going to get the best out of this side. I mean, you've got the Steves. They can't do anything. Steve Bruce is just standing around the technical area, puffing his cheeks out and staring at the floor. You know, when we should be reacting in games and trying to get back into it. We don't even look like doing anything in the game. We're just so toothless. It's just the lack of energy. The squad just... I'm not going to say it's an awful squad. There's no doubt it's a decent side. But unfortunately, it can never go forward under Steve Bruce. It really can't. And the confidence is so low now. It really is. I just don't get how players can... or even pundits back Steve Bruce anymore. They've got to start siding with us, the fans, because it's just not acceptable what we're seeing. I mean, you look at the possession stats. It's like 25% and below. We can't even retain possession. We're a comedy joke. That's what we are. And Mike Ashley, he's just... I don't know. Lee Charnley as well. I mean, I can't stand them both. I really can't. The talk about, well, if it is to stay in the Premier League mid-table, well, we're not going to stay mid-table. We're not even a mid-table club anymore, the way we're playing. I'm so dejected. I don't know what more I can say. You know, I can scream and shout until I'm blue in the face, but the board will not listen. But eventually they've got to click on. No win in 10 games. It's just simply not good enough. Not good enough. I can't even bring myself to watch for 90 minutes. That's how bad we are. I have to go and do something else. On with the game. Well, the starting 11, again, I was baffled by it. Jeff Hendrick. What does Steve Bruce see in Jeff Hendrick that I don't? Because I think he's awful. Shelvey, okay, I understand, but again, awful. Lewis, awful. Carroll, Wilson, next to no service, but again, weren't great when they did have the ball. Darlow, not fantastic. For me, I'm at the point now where he should be dropped for Leeds United. I've had enough. That's 2 games now where he's been poor. Something has got to give. We've got to change something because it's simply not working. He went 4-4-2, but was it 4-4-2? No, it's probably a fake 5 at the back, as I always say, or 6 or 7 or 8 at the back. We're anyone's training session right now. We really are. So going into the first half, the commentator said that we started brightly. I'm just sick of hearing it. Yes, we started brightly, but are we working the goalkeeper? No, we're not. We barely got out run off that first half. Villa were always on the front foot. When we looked as if we were trying to retain the ball, we couldn't for more than 5 seconds. We gave it away. You can't afford to do that. You really can't. It's an easy night's work for Aston Villa. It really is. And, well, the first goal, don't get me started, with Ollie Watkins. It was just a good all-round finish. The warning signs were there with Target when he put the ball into the box and he couldn't connect. Someone should have got close to him. But then moments later, Target puts the ball into the box from their left-hand side or right. And the ball goes in far too easily. I don't know what Fabian Schär's trying to do with his clearance. It loops over his head. And then you look at Watkins, who he just manages to get his head in it and steer it beyond Darlow into the back of the net. Question marks of offside. For me, it didn't look offside. It was a perfectly good goal. Crap defending by us, and the goal 1-0 of Villa. Fully deserved on the balance of play. And then we're just on the ropes from there, really. And then Villa do double the lead just before half-time with Traore from a set-piece. The ball comes in, and Darlow, he gets sandwiched in between a few Villa and Newcastle players. The ball somehow finds its way out the box to Traore. He does a give and go with Jack Grealish. He squares it across to Traore and he just hits an absolute thunderbolt beyond called Darlow. Underside of the bar, 2-0. And for me, it was game over. It was game over when the first goal went in. To be honest, Villa could have been 3-4, 5-0 up in that first half on the chances created. In terms of what we did, we had one shot on target through Almiron. It was just feeble. Do you know what I mean? You could put no keeper in the net and it wouldn't have found its way over the line. It was that tamely hit. Second half, it was just no better. The only sort of inspiration was ASM coming on. But listen, Villa were in full control of the game. And in the end, they won the game. I think they go into 8th place now. As mentioned, we go down to 16th. Mike Ashley just needs to get rid of Steve Bruce tonight. Or Steve Bruce needs to do the right thing and resign, because it's embarrassing. We are a comedy to watch now. We might as well be put on the comedy channel, because are we even a squad? Because when you watch, we'd rather be anywhere else but on the field. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what more I can say about the game apart from it was expected. Leeds on Tuesday, I can't say we're beating Leeds. I can't even see we're beating Everton. I don't know where the next win's coming from. I really don't. We're not going to beat Palace and we're not going to beat Southampton. So who we're going to beat? Says a lot when we beat Morecambe 7-0. I guess that's our level. Then again, we struggled against Newport. We struggled against Brentford B team. Honestly, the lads, yes, okay, Steve Bruce gets a lot of flack and rightly so, but the players need to look at themselves. They're not giving 100%. They're not putting in the challenges that you need to put in this league. We just look second best to everything, and you can't afford to be like that in games in the Premier League. Otherwise, you will lose more games than you win. We don't look like even drawing a game or winning a game. I said that at the start of this video. And Steve Bruce is taking us down. He really is. Don't get me wrong. He's not just the problem. The board are the problem. They're not footballing people. And Mike Ashley simply needs to get this club sold to an owner who wants to take the club forward, because right now we're a sinking ship. We're going down quicker than the Titanic. We really are. We're going down quicker than the Titanic. That's how desperate it's become at this football club. And I don't know what more I can say. I'm just full of no hope. I don't know what more I can say. I really don't. Even we're leaders now, they've just gone missing themselves. Not the same. Fabian Shea, you can just leave. Hendrick, you can just leave. A lot of them could just leave and I wouldn't care. We need a massive clear out at this football club. We really do. Not Premier League standard. The day Steve Bruce goes, I'll be happy. But that won't solve all the problems. But right now, I'm just lost for words to what more I can say about how we're playing right now. But yeah, Villa, take the win. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. I make regular content and I will be back for the preview for Leeds. Stay tuned for that. It won't be the same preview. It will be changed as I don't have a lot of time to edit this week. Hit the like button if you've got this far. Follow me on social media, Toonormy TV. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and I'll follow you back. Put your comments down below what you thought of that game. Yeah, I'm going to go now. Make sure you keep yourselves safe out there and how are the lads.